So I wanted to ask you first, what did you all know about the G.I. Joe universe before getting involved in the film?
What? G.I. Joe? If you didn't know G.I. Joe, what? Everybody knows G.I. Joe. You know, knowing is half the battle. Yo, Joe, G.I. Joe, American hero, G.I. Joe is there. I know the harmonies to the theme song. Snake Eyes, Bazooka Joe, Storm Shadow. I grew up as a kid. I didn't play with them because we was poor and I couldn't afford them. But I watched my friends play with them and they looked like a blast.
And I had a younger brother, so, you know, he was very much into the franchise and very much into the action figures, and I definitely got sucked into playing with them on many an occasion. And, you know, and Scarlett is, I wasn't familiar with her as a child, but there are a lot of guys out there that were familiar with her, so.
Yeah, we sure were. I stole my friend's Scarlett.
I don't need to know. Moving on.
Okay.
But let's talk a bit about your characters. How would you describe them? How do you see them?
I see like Ripcord as a guy who really he you know, he wants to fly planes, man. That's all he loves to do. He wants to fly planes, and you know, he doesn't really take things too serious, you know. But what happens when they get recruited into the Joes is he gets called to action, and you know, he makes that transition. And I like the complexity of that, you know, starting one way and ending another. So going from like zero to hero.
And, you know, Scarlett is someone that she grew up in this sort of institution, and her father was her mentor until he passed away, and then she's sort of been adopted by General Hawk, and he's very much a father figure for her. And she's been around guys her whole life in the context of, you know, kind of like brothers, as nothing more. And then you see this transition of her from the beginning of the movie, you know, Ripcord's sort of trying to flirt with her, and she just doesn't, blatantly just sort of doesn't get it, doesn't understand, doesn't have time for it, isn't interested, and then...
She wants it.
Yeah, everybody wants it. See, so she gets to go from zero to hero, too.
You loved them.
I did.
How did you guys prepare for your roles? Did you have to do special training or anything?
What?
Yeah, we did
very special.
extensive training.
We did combat training, we did weight training, we did gun training. I could probably kill you right now and get away with it. That's how much we learned.
That's it.
You know what I mean? Like, I really feel like some kind of like special operative right now.
We train extensively, especially because with the fight scenes and with the weaponry, and you want to have a certain level of familiarity with it when you're using it to make it look authentic and make it look real. And they hired the best people to come and really sort of work with us and teach us their skill set. So we definitely put a lot of work into it beforehand.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do is see a guy holding the gun, because, you know, brothers, we always hold the gun to the side like this, you know. When in the military, you got to hold it straight up. So we really, you know, they taught us really technically, you know, how to go around the corner and see without getting shot. And, you know, it was really great to learn that stuff.
And how comfortable or uncomfortable were those cool outfits that you guys are wearing?
The most
I'm going to start because you're going to complain, and I'm going to say it was fantastic. No, I'm kidding.
You're going to say it's fantastic because it showcased all your wonderful features.
Thank you.
Yes, but for me, it actually was hell in a suit. It was so uncomfortable. You could, like, the armor suit, you could barely lift your arms, you know, up. You didn't like the liquid armor suit.
Oh, no, I like the jumpsuit. I spent most of my time in the jumpsuit.
You lucky. Actually, when I went to Prague, I had to put on the accelerator suit. The accelerator suit, you can't breathe. It's uncomfortable. Your back is like, it's like a corset, so you're kind of like stuck in there, and it like twists your body, and your feet swell up, and your hands swell up, and your head gets big, and you know, it's really like you get woozy after 2 hours.
Sexiest outfit ever.
Thank you, and that's all worth it for that reaction.
Thank you.
But
they look hot. They may not be comfortable, but they look very good.
And see, guys, we will do anything for that reaction.
There you go.
And you were in Prague. How was that experience?
Prague's
I loved
beautiful.
Prague.
Yeah.
I mean, I went having never been before, and knowing sort of nothing about it, and had some unbelievable food. We tricked Marlon into trying sweetbreads one night at Campa Park, which was one of the more funny moments of my life.
Okay, for y'all, listen, sweet bread sounds like, what's sweet bread? Oh, I was like, oh, you got some bread with some sugar on it? I'm halfway through, I'm like, this sweet bread ain't bad, but it ain't sweet. And they're like, it's calf brain. I was like, bleh. I was like, that is not cool. You know what? I'm going to give y'all some soul food. You know what a chitlin is?
It's the same thing.
Oh, no, it's not the same.
Oh, no, it's
pig
same,
intestines.
bone or
Yeah,
something.
we going to get you some soul food. We going to crack those jokes.
Prague was great.
Yeah.
And working with Steven?
I loved working with Steven because he's like a 13-year-old boy. He loves to blow things up, and he likes boobs.
That sounds crazy. Like a 13-year-old boy. He spends all his time in the bathroom. It's like, what?
He just has this. He has this energy and this excitement. And if you're going to make a movie that's first of all has such a huge fan base and is such a legendary, franchise. If you're going to make that kind of movie, you have to have a director who is thrilled to do it, who's excited to do it, who is exhilarated at the prospect of doing it. And Steven every day shows up to set thrilled to be there, and everybody else feels that way because it's generated from him.
Yeah, he definitely has an excitement about him. He just comes to work and he stands by the monitor and he twists his tongue. He's like watching the scenes. He's like a little puppy, like a Weimaraner. What's those dogs? He has a dog. It's a Weimaraner. That is him. He is a Weimaraner. What is it? A Rottweiler?
I'm not into
A Weimaraner who?
Weimaraner?
A Weimaraner. He's a Weimaraner. That's what Steven is. A Weimaraner director.
God.
But he's brilliant, and we had a great time.
And what about Channing? I mean, it seems it's such a big year for him. And
Oh yeah, we had a blast, man. And working with him, man. He comes across as this tough dude, but he's a pit bull, like a baby pit bull. He's just like a sweetheart. And we hung together the whole time. We trained together, and it was great working with him. And he's like my little big brother,
I've known Channing for a really long time. We were actually in our first acting class together in New York. We both lived in New York, and he's made such a transition. And he's such a sweet, loving, kind person, and yet he can totally kick some ass. So.
We're talking about him like he's dead, and we're giving it.
I know, how funny.
Oh,
he's
Channing,
alive and he's getting married, and he's
uh,
fantastic. He's so wise beyond his years. He's great. We're all very excited for him.
just to wrap it up, what do you think is going to make this film special and different to other action films? I mean, what's especially cool about G.I. Joe?
Man, because I think this movie has kind of everything. You have big action, humor, you have romance, and most of all, you have excitement and adrenaline. And the special effects are insane, and it's just a great ride. And you really enjoy seeing everybody together and the different kinds of characters. And it's gonna be one of those movies that make you go, woo!
You love that.
I do.
The first thing that comes to mind is we knock over the Eiffel Tower, which is certainly something that you've never seen before, and the way that they do it is pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
And I think that really sets the bar. It's in the trailer, and it really sets the bar for other things that are to come in the film, which will be equally as jaw-dropping. And it's a roller coaster ride. I don't think anybody will leave unhappy with what they've seen.
I saw the trailer, and I said, dude, I'm in that. Like, I couldn't believe it. It was that exciting for me.
That's what I thought too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But you ain't in the movie.